As the title suggests, this is your guide to getting a date this Valentine's Day. Even if it is just one date. If you do the right things and I guess talk to enough women to get one to say yes to you, because there will be probably a lot of times that girls will just say no, because that's just how life is. Lots of girls will say no to you. That's how it is for every guy, or 99% of guys at least. But first I want to talk to you about something that I call the Valentine's guilt trip. And it's not bad necessarily, it's good. It's just how things are, and it just happens around every Valentine's Day. And this guilt trip is that if a girl is asked to be a Valentine or go on a date and she doesn't have anyone yet, she's more inclined to say yes. She's like, well, in her mind, she's like, well, it's Valentine's Day, and I might as well give this guy a chance, and blah, 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 and he seems nice. Especially if you're acting nice and being polite and stuff, she might be like, oh, she seems nice. If she's a good girl, of course. If she's not a good girl, she'll be like, ew, no, she won't even think twice. Probably. So enough yapping. What do you do when you approach this girl or these girls, probably multiple girls you're gonna have to talk to, that you think are potential candidates for going on a date with this Valentine's Day? Well, what I suggest, and what would probably work best, is to introduce yourself and then talk about something you think that you both might be interested in. For example, if I was going to walk up to a girl right now, I would go up to her and I'd say, hi, my name is Wes, and I would shake her hand. I'd say, how are you doing today? And then we'd be like, yeah, good. Yeah, I'm doing good too. And then I'd say, what'd you think about the Super Bowl this weekend? How did you like the results? How do you think they turned out? How do you like the results? And then she would say whatever, and then I would say, hey, you I don't know, you have really nice hair, or you have something like that. You have really nice hair. Do you have a Valentine? Someone as pretty as you shouldn't go without a Valentine or a date this Valentine's Day. And then it would just go from there. She would either say yes or no, and then I would, depending on the answer, I would either say, okay, well, all right, you have a good day. It was nice talking to you. Or I would say, well, would you mind being mine? Something like that. And then you just go from there. You set up a date. Well, how about what time are you free on Valentine's Day? And then figure it out from there. You got it from there, my friend. You should know what to do. And here's a trick that if you wanted to, this is not a good idea. You should not do this. But you could say to her, well, it could only be one date, and we could just be friends afterwards if you wanted to. And that would 99% of the time, most likely, keep you in the friend zone forever, or for a very long time. So that is not a good idea to do. And then if you already know this girl, a girl that you talk to somewhat, then just talk to her how you normally would, and then just bring it up in conversation. You're talking about the Super Bowl. Yeah, I hate how the Chiefs lost and the Eagles suck and whatever. And then just say, well, you know what I was thinking about? I was thinking about, it's probably better. I was thinking about Valentine's Day, and how do you have a Valentine? And then go from there, how I had it in the previous example that I made. And then if you need help with planning a date or anything, ask your parents. I'm sure they will know what to do. They had to plan dates for each other. How do you think you exist, my friend? They've got to have gone on some date sometime. Or it should be obvious to you. It's obvious. It's always been obvious to me how to plan a date. You call up the place you're gonna go do something at, go ice skating, go eat. My first date ever was ice skating and then eating dinner. I think that's a really good first date. You could do that too, but it might be like crowded on Valentine's Day or something. So you never know. Just something that you think that you and her might like to do. The rest of it's just up to you, man. You gotta be your own man and go fight your own battles with this one. I'm just getting you started. Oh, and another thing. First impressions matter. They matter so much. The first few impressions, actually. Make sure you dress your best. Make sure you are nice and kind and polite. And hopefully you already are and do all those things anyways. And if you're not, then work on yourself, man. What are you doing? But just be kind, be a good guy, and be yourself as well. Don't just be the nice version of you. Be the you version of you. Slowly, I don't know, just be you as much as possible, because you never know, this could be your wife or something, so you're going to want to be yourself eventually. So why not start from when you first meet her? And these first impressions are probably how she's going to see you for a very long time, or forever. These first few impressions, she's going to look back and be like, yeah, I remember him. He was nice and kind, and he walked up to me politely and asked if I had a Valentine or not. And he was so nice and kind. And I don't know, maybe some girls like a guy that walks up to him and is like, hey, you're But I don't think good girls like guys like that. A good girl that'll stay with you at least. Likes all the good stuff. You know what all the good stuff is. Alright, enough of my yapping. You already know what to do now. I just told you what to do. Now get to it. And remember that the path to heaven feels like hell, and the path to hell feels like heaven. We are on the path to heaven in the Discord, which is in the link, I always mess this up. The only link in the description is the link to the Discord. We are an army full of warriors in there fighting our way along the hellish path to heaven. So come join us in there in our fight. Good luck with your women endeavors, my friend. I love you, bro.